It's easy to get so excited when buying a flight that you forget some of the boring things that you need to do. And if you don't do some of these things right away, you'll be totally screwed when it comes time to fly. The first thing you want to do is download a free app called TripIt. And as soon as you get your email confirmation for your flights, you can forward that email to plans@tripit.com and it will automatically create this cool itinerary for you. Then from there, whenever you book a hotel or a bus or whatever else, just keep forwarding those emails to TripIt and it'll automatically lay everything out all together in the same spot so you have all your information together. You can also set it up so that TripIt automatically syncs with your email so you don't have to forward it, but I don't really trust giving apps like this access to my emails. By setting up TripIt right after you buy your flight, it makes the whole rest of the trip planning process way easier and much more organized. Just make sure to double check when everything loads into TripIt that all the dates are correct, because if for some reason TripIt reads your email that you forwarded and it picks out the wrong date, it could throw off the rest of your bookings. The next thing you want to do right after buying your flight is to set an alarm for 24 hours. This is because in the US, airlines are required by law to either allow you to cancel your flight within 24 hours or give you the option to hold the price of your flight for 24 hours. That means if you end up regretting your decision or you realize that you booked something incorrectly, then you can cancel it and get your money back without getting charged any fees. Just make sure to search on the airline that you're flying which one of these two policies they have, if they have the 24-hour hold policy or the 24-hour cancellation policy, because if you book thinking that you will be able to cancel within 24 hours, but they actually had the hold policy, then you're gonna be screwed. Also, in order to be eligible for this policy, you have to book your flights at least 7 days before the departure date, and you have to book them directly with the airline, not on a third-party booking site. So right after you book your flights, this is a good time to double check to make sure that all the airports are correct, because sometimes you'll get an itinerary. For example, this happened to my brother one time where he flew into one airport in New York and the connecting flight was from a different airport and he didn't realize it until afterwards. But if he'd realized it within 24 hours, he would have been able to cancel and fix things. Also, these laws vary by country, and we just realized that in Colombia, it seems like their law is you have 5 full days to cancel and get a refund for your ticket if you need to change your mind. Knowing this could come in handy if you need to have proof of onward travel. For example, if you're traveling on a one-way ticket to a different country and you need to prove that you're leaving the country, if you know that you have 5 days, for example, in Colombia, before you can cancel your ticket and get a refund, then you don't need to worry about buying a refundable ticket. You can just buy your ticket within those 5 days and then show it to get into the country and then cancel it and get a full refund as long as it's within those 5 days. But again, every country is different. The next one has saved me over $16,000 over the past several years, and it's something I recommend doing right after buying your flight because it's something that's easy to forget. While traveling, I have smashed a motorcycle in Thailand, got a lung infection in Colombia, had my arm randomly swell up like a balloon in Colombia, puked for 3 straight weeks with a stomach infection from 1 sip of bad water in remote Patagonia, got in another motorcycle accident in Thailand which required 2 surgeries, and the cherry on top, accidentally squirted hand sanitizer directly into my cornea while visiting the US. If I hadn't bought travel insurance before my trips, I would be tens of thousands of dollars poorer. I've been a paying customer of Safety Wing Insurance for years now, who were kind enough to partner with me on this video, and it's the insurance that I recommend for most types of travelers. Their Nomad 2.0 plan is super affordable, starting at just a few bucks per day, and it has 0 deductible. They offer options for shorter trips with fixed dates, but they also have a handy subscription model for longer term travelers who don't know their end date. They also offer extra add-ons like electronics theft coverage or the adventure activity coverage if you're an adrenaline junkie and want to do riskier stuff like skydiving or whitewater rafting. I personally use Safety Wing for my coverage, and I'll link to their instant quote page down in the description in case you're interested. But no matter which insurance you choose, get it taken care of right when you buy your ticket so you don't forget when you're busy planning your itinerary and packing your bags. The next thing you want to do right away after buying your ticket is to download the airline's app onto your phone and then set up notifications for flight time changes and gate changes and all those things. I've had some flights where the gate changed like 5 different times, and if you're not aware that the gate changes and it changes to a whole different terminal, for example, you'll end up having to sprint through the airport and you'll arrive all sweaty and stressed, and that's no fun at all. I've also had it where checking into your flight doesn't work on the actual airline website with some airlines, and so then you have to download the app in order to check in. Apart from the airline app, there are also some other super important apps that you're going to want to download on your phone, and I share all those in this video. If you don't already have all of those apps on your phone, you really need to get with the program. Next is you want to make sure you have a strategy to not get overcharged by your banks while you're traveling. That means 2 different things. The first thing is that you have a credit card that has no foreign transaction fees and hopefully some other travel perks. When you're traveling abroad, most banks charge these stupid and pointless foreign transaction fee that can range from 3 to 5% whenever you swipe your credit card in a different country. These little fees can add up fast, which is why I always recommend having at least one of these no foreign transaction fee cards in your wallet. I'll give you 3 different examples for different types of travelers. The first one is the Capital One Saver One Cash Rewards credit card. This one has no annual fee, so there's really no reason not to have it in your wallet. In addition to avoiding those pesky foreign transaction fees, you can also use this card to earn rewards. And at the time of recording, they also offer a $200 cash bonus after you spend $500 within the first 3 months of opening your account. The second option is a mid-tier option, and it comes with a $95 annual fee, but it also comes with tons more travel perks. This one's called the Capital One Venture Credit Card, and at the time of recording, it has a crazy elevated offer going on right now. You can earn 75,000 miles once you spend $4,000 within the first 3 months of opening your account, plus you get a one-time $250 Capital One travel credit. That's equal to $1,000 in travel, and even more if you transfer those miles to their airline partners. Trading $95 for over $1,000 in travel doesn't seem like a bad deal to me. My last recommendation is the Capital One Venture X credit card, and this is the premium option, which is the option that I use personally. Basically, it's like the normal Venture card, but just on steroids. There's a $395 annual fee, but if you travel often, the fee easily pays for itself. That's because every year you get a $300 travel credit plus 10,000 bonus miles, and this alone equals at least $400. Then all the other bonuses you get are just like the cherry on top, like travel protections, credits for TSA PreCheck and global entry, and my absolute favorite, complimentary Priority Pass lounge access all around the world for you and 2 guests. Since my wife and I fly quite a bit and use a lot of these lounges, this probably adds up to over $1,000 in value each year. The reason I say to get this taken care of right after you buy your ticket is because sometimes it can take a few weeks for you to apply to a credit card and receive it in the mail. And in addition to credit cards, you're also going to want to have a way to take out the local currency when you're traveling. And for Americans, the best option is to open a free Charles Schwab checking account. This is the account that I use, and they give you an ATM card that you can use at any ATM worldwide, and they reimburse all of your fees. And if you're not from the US, look into opening a Wise or a Revolut account. Before we get into these last tips, which are arguably even more important, make sure to subscribe if you want more tips on how to save money while traveling. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is to do some research and make sure you have all of the vaccines that you need for the destination that you're going to be traveling in, because every country is different, and you want to do this in advance because sometimes you need to get multiple shots spaced a certain number of days apart, and if you don't leave enough time, you won't be able to get all those shots. And if you need a reference to see which vaccines you need to travel, check out the CDC website. While you're at it, it's a good idea to also look into the visa requirements for the country you're going to be traveling to. This is actually probably something you should do before you buy your flight, but if you're someone privileged enough to have a strong passport, this can sometimes be easy to forget. Sometimes it can take days or even weeks for a visa to process in certain countries, and so you want to do this right away to make sure that you have your visa in time for travel. And if you're from a country with a weaker passport, you might want to take this one step further and do a quick Google search for your nationality, problems entering whatever country you're going to. From there, click on the news tab to see if there's any recent information about people from your country entering the country you're going to. The reason I bring this up is because we recently flew from Colombia to Mexico, and my wife is Colombian. She does not need a visa to get into Mexico, but it turns out for some reason Mexico's immigration are super strict with Colombians compared to any other country in the world. Colombians have a bunch of extra requirements that other countries don't have to do, and so you're gonna wanna know this right away so you can get all your stuff in order. Luckily, Diane made it into Mexico without any problems, but there's other news stories of immigration taking entire planes from Colombia and setting them in a room all night long without any food, and then sending a large portion of them back to Colombia. Do you guys think it's fair to discriminate against a certain nationality just because of the country's history? Comment below and let me know what you think. Another important thing to do is to check the luggage weights and size requirements for your specific airline. Don't assume they're all the same, because some airlines have ridiculously strict luggage weight and size policies. For example, many budget airlines and even some full service airlines nowadays have a 7-kilogram weight limit for what you can carry on the plane. And sometimes this includes your combined weight between your carry-on and your personal item. So if you carry on a suitcase that weighs 4 kilograms and you have a laptop that weighs 2 kilograms, that doesn't really leave you much extra space, which is ridiculous. Fortunately, if you're clever, there are some tricks you can use to avoid these fees altogether, and I cover them all in this video here. Make sure to watch it if you don't like getting gouged for luggage fees. All right, guys, like, subscribe, do the things. Love you. Bye-bye.